welcome back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.
And remember, our goal is always to guide you to personal and financial wellness.
Hello and welcome back to the final segment of the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS and FM 98.1. We're here with Robert Schwartz. We're going to dive into this because Robert Schwartz with Premier College Guidance always has great information. We were talking about realities of 10 years ago with certain colleges such as USC, Stanford, and UCLA versus now. And what Rob always, like I said, enlightens us on a topic. But Rob, I want for everybody, before we dive into procrastination kills, teeing that up, how are you successfully assisting parents, grandparents, and students with getting into the college of their dreams, getting into the right college, how to pay for that college, and reality check for some parents and some students?
It's a lot to take in one segment.
I know.
But the bottom line is, look, we meaning my team at Premier College Guidance, and I have been doing this a long time. We understand students, we understand their goals, we understand their needs, we ask a lot of questions. This is not simply looking at your GPA, looking at your test scores and saying, oh, you should apply to these schools. That's not how it works. At least that's not how it works if you're getting good help. The idea that you're being guided, hence the name of the organization, you're being guided towards a solution that makes sense for you and makes sense for your family. That's an affordable solution. That is one where you get to study what you want to study in an environment where you want to study it. That is the whole point of college. And believe it or not, the great majority of people who work on the other side of the desk, the people who are reading your applications, they want the very same thing. Now, they want your business as well, but they really do want
business, isn't it?
Very much so. It's a multi-trillion-dollar business. But the bottom line is they want you to end up in a place where you are happy and successful.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win.
I mean, they get diminishing, or they get recurring returns for 4 years as long as you're happy, maybe even 5.
And what about
the next generation?
What about generationally? What about donations back to the school? I mean, that's all part of the deal.
Sure.
Right. It's all part of the deal. So
I don't
unhappy
wanna call
students.
it that, but some of those schools are pretty culty.
Some of them are. I'm not going to
And
lie.
that works for those in that cult.
Yeah. One of them we've already mentioned today.
Yes.
But you know what? You want a job? It's a great place to be asking for a
they
job.
network better than anyone.
Better than
Anybody.
anyone.
Without
If
a
you
doubt.
don't know which
Amazing.
one that is, you should call or email me and I'll give you the answer.
How do they get a hold of you?
It rings in my pocket, 818-359-3779 or rob at premiercollegeguide.com.
Cool.
Always good
All
stuff.
right.
All right, so obviously you can help with all aspects because there's certain aspects, and
Financial
and the
planning
main thing I'll lead off with of those things, let alone test score, essays, prepare which colleges are which, and so forth. We talked about the main thing. I know you've helped so many of the people we referred you to and people we know is that you will help relieve the stress.
It is one of the
You
most
enlighten them, 'cause
stressful
stress
periods.
is lack of information and knowledge.
It's lack of information, lack of knowledge, but it's not having a plan.
Right, there you go.
And that's that whole idea of procrastination kills, which we talked about during the break. That's where this comes in. Every one of my students will give me their final college list at least 6 to 8 weeks before the very first app is due, meaning they still have time to figure out what they need to do, how many essays they have to write, how many applications they need to complete, and they have a complete plan. Do this first, do this second, do this third, do this fourth. These are the application deadlines that I think you should use for early. These are the ones I believe you should use for regular decision. Here's a school that offers a rolling admission, and this is when I think you should exercise that. A lot of families make huge mistakes when it comes to understanding how early applications are used. Standard operating procedure for the average American family is if they have an early app, you use it, because that somehow betters your chances of admission. That is a flawed statement. That is not how it actually works. So procrastination kills when you do not have a plan. It's not that you don't get everything done early. It's knowing when do you apply early and when is it better to actually wait.
And different schools have different moments to apply in, I'm
Some
sure.
have one regular decision. Cal States and UCs, you have one date, November 30th, end of discussion. For many other schools, they have as many as 4.
Wow.
They could have an early decision 1, an early action, an early decision 2, and a regular decision.
And that could be super confusing.
It can be very confusing if you don't know the lingo and you don't understand which each of them represents, and are you making a commitment? Some of those items, you're literally making a legal binding commitment to go to that school. So that's a huge
So they don't
deal.
waste their time. They're basically, if we're going to put
Well,
the
if they
time
get-
in to accept you, you're gonna go here.
Well, they don't want to have you say, they say yes to you, and you go, sorry, I got accepted somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah.
When using what we call an early decision application, you've made a commitment. It's done. You get one of them. So you better be 100% sure it's the school of your dreams and you can afford the cost of doing business. And if you can't do both, forget it.
When should parents, grandparents, students, and I say that because it could be anyone helping each other, when should they go to you first? Because I know a lot of times they'll go, it's our senior year and we need to figure this out. In a lot of cases, not that you can't help them, but they're really too late.
At this stage of the game, middle of December, yeah, there's nothing in the world I can do to save you. You've procrastinated yourself into a foxhole where there really isn't much we can do in terms of the majority of the U.S. schools. Now, are there schools that are still accepting applications? Of course there are. There are still outs for you. But in terms of really understanding substantively what are you doing and why are you doing it and how are you doing it and how you improve yourself on paper beyond your grades and your test scores, we should have had this conversation at least a year before.
So let me think about this. So someone should call you. Let's say they did foxhole themselves into a problem. So they should still call, and they should still talk to you because there's 2 or 3 things I could say. One is you have an opportunity to sign up for some schools that still have availability that might still be great schools that suit their needs.
And ones
Maybe
they don't
not
know
the
of.
state of California.
For sure.
Okay.
Right.
Definitely option number one.
That are wanting California.
Number 2, and I'm not saying this is ideal, but if those schools are no longer available because you've procrastinated, maybe it's okay to take a semester off and try to get in next time around?
We call that a gap year.
Aha.
But a gap year is meant for, I have a plan to do something, as opposed to, I'm just taking a year off.
Well, so we can, build a explanation around a gap year and maybe travel to Europe a couple of times to see the rest of the world. That should look pretty good on my application.
That's
or
certainly
internship
Yep.
or whatever.
That's
So let's
certainly
fill
in
that
the
gap
realm of
with
possible.
let's
I
Yes.
fill
think
that gap with
we've
good
listened
stuff.
to your show before.
Maybe once, maybe twice.
All right, before we close out, because I think you're a valuable resource to anyone in regard to college planning for their, how can they get a hold of you, and what about your newsletter that you write?
Start with how to get a hold of me. Email is probably easiest. It's rob@premiercollegeguide.com. You can call me or text me. It's 818-359-3779. In terms of the newsletter, part of the information that you heard today in today's show comes from a newsletter I write called the College Knowledge Quarterly. It's written, hence the name Quarterly. Once every 3 months, you're going to receive this. It's a PDF. You'll get it in your email. Great information that is produced by me every single quarter. It goes out to over 1,000 families in the state of California and over 225 counselors statewide. If you want it, it's free. Just send me an email and say, send me your newsletter or give me the CKQ. I'll figure out what it is you're looking for. Just let me know you want it and it's yours, free of charge.
Email again.
rob@premiercollegeguide.com.
All right,
Awesome.
again, Robert Schwartz with Premier College Guide. Thank you, buddy.
Hey,
Almost
pleasure's
make
mine.
me want to go to college again.
It's fun, man. It's fun.
The good old days, right?
Absolutely. I'd go back.
Right? Yeah. Now we all have responsibilities. Well, our responsibility is to close out the show. Thank you for being on our show again.
Pleasure's mine.
And also to thank you for being part of our show for almost 8 years now on the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. You can find out more, of course, by going to hometownstation.com or our personal website at donandgino.com. That's DONANDGINO.com. Have a wonderful weekend and blessed holidays.